Hello everyone. In today's lecture, we will discuss about analysis of fats and oils. It is the topic under chapter Fats and Oils. In today's lecture, I am going to discuss about introduction of analysis of fats and oils and different analytical constants that are used for the analysis of fats and oils. Fats and oils are very important component of various medicines, lubricants, lacquers and other items, right, which are generally used in routine. In daily, we consume fat or oil in one or another form, right, as we know that fat or oil we are using in routine, in daily life. The value of particular fat and oil depends upon its composition and purity. Right? The purity and composition in turn depends upon the degree of unsaturation, acidity on hydrolysis and its molecular weight. A variety of physical tests have been performed on fats and oils to determine their composition and quality. Right? So, purity of fats and oils is characterized or performed or analyzed by using the different physical test or common test, right? Different chemical test also. So, this different test gives the different number or different value, and by using the that is known as the analytical constant. And these analytical constants are useful for assuming or for determining the composition as well as quality of the given sample of fats and oils. These are the different analytical constants which are used for the determination of quality as well as purity and composition of the different fats and oils. In previous lecture of fats and oils, we have seen about the different examples of fats and oils as well as the difference between fats and oils, nomenclature and different reactions of fats and oils, right? So we know the different properties of the fats and oils, physical as well as chemicals, how fats and oils react with the different chemicals, right? So that reactions are also involved into the determination of these different analytical constants, and these constants help to determine the quality of fats and oils. The constants used are acid value, saponification value, ester value, iodine value, acetyl value, Richard-Missel value, that is RM value, right? Mainly these constants are used. So let's start with acid value. It is defined as number of milligrams of potassium hydroxide KOH, right, required to neutralize 1 gram of the oil or fat, right? Acid value is nothing but the number of milligrams of KOH required to neutralize 1 gram of oil or fat, right? And it indicates the amount of free fatty acid present in fat and oil. As we know that fat or oil are the glyceryl esters of fatty acids, right? So here acid value is the number or amount of KOH required to neutralize the fat, right? That means there is a presence of free fatty acid in fat or oil, right? Generally oil and fat are esters, so esters are neutral, right? Neither acid nor base, right? They are neutral, but some KOH are required to react with fat and oil. That means there is a presence of some amount of free acids. Then and then KOH can be used for the reaction, right? Or KOH is involved into the reaction, right? Otherwise, esters directly in normal condition does not react with the KOH, right? KOH is utilized, that means there is a presence of free acids, right? So the amount of free fatty acid present in oil and fat can be determined by using the acid value, right? KOH used for the neutralization, that amount neutralize the free fatty acid present in sample. The acid value is a measure of breakdown of the triglycerides into free fatty acids, right, which has an adverse and undesirable effect, right. When free fatty acid present into the sample of oil and fat, then it produces the adverse and undesirable effect, right. So pure or good quality fat and oil should not have free fatty acids. They should be totally into the glyceryl ester form, right. There should not be presence of free fatty acid, right. Free fatty acid produces the undesirable effect and adverse effect, right. So there is also specific acid value for the specific fat and oil, right, that indicate the quality of the that specific sample of fat and oil. For example, castor oil. Castor oil should have acid value less than 4, right. It is the standard value for of acid value for the castor oil, right. So when sample of castor oil is given for the test or for the determination of acid value, right, you practically perform, and when value of the acid value for the given sample of castor oil obtained is more than 4, that means the sample is not of good quality. It becomes degraded, right. It is degraded product, right. It is converted into free fatty acid from the ester, right. When the value becomes less than 4, acid value becomes less than 4, that means sample is of good quality. There is no fatty acid or acceptable amount of fatty acid present, free fatty acid present, right. There is a presence of acceptable amount of free fatty acid, right. Procedure for the determination of acid value. Weigh accurately a quantity of fat or oil in conical flask, right. Then to the conical flask add 50 ml of ethanol ether solution, right. First prepare the mixture of ethanol ether, 1:1 mixture. That means 50 ml mixture contain 25 ml ethanol and 25 ml ether, right. Then this 50 ml solution of mixture of ethanol and ether is added to the sample of fat or oil which is taken into the conical flask. Then the mixture of solvent and fat and oil shake well, right. That's why the sample of fat or oil becomes soluble into the solvent. Should completely soluble into the solvent, right. Titrate the solution with KOH using phenolphthalein as an indicator until pink color is obtained, right. This mixture of fat and solvent, right, this solution is then titrated against potassium hydroxide, right, and phenolphthalein as an indicator is used, right. So this titration is carried out until pink color is obtained. Pink color is end point, right. Then stop the titration. Then next measure the amount of KOH, potassium hydroxide, used by using and calculate the acid value, right. From the burette but obviously we are carrying out the titration. So in conical flask there is a fat and oil sample which is dissolved into the ethanol ether mixture, and to this mixture phenolphthalein is added as an indicator. Then KOH is added from the burette, right? From the burette dropwise KOH solution is added to the mixture, right? Reaction mixture, and to the mixture KOH is added until pink color is obtained, right? Then stop the burette knob and measure the volume of the KOH used, right? From see in burette, see the ml of volume of KOH used. Then by using the value of this volume of KOH, calculate the acid value. Acid value can be calculated by using the formula volume in ml of 0.1 molar KOH consumed or KOH solution used, right, into 5.611 divided by weight of the sample, right. 5.611 is the constant divided by weight of the sample, that is the weight of fat or oil is taken, right, and here put the volume of KOH used, right, that is burette reading. What is your burette reading? Put the value of that burette reading here, that is the ml used of KOH, that is 0.1 molar KOH solution. Then after calculating the acid value, see or compare the acid value with the normal or standard acid value of that sample, right. High acid value indicate that the given sample of fat and oil is low quality and stored under improper condition, right. As we see in the example of castor oil, right. Standard acid value of the castor oil should be less than 4, right. If the acid value is more than 4, it indicates the high acid value, right. That indicate the given sample of castor oil is of low quality and is stored under improper condition. It becomes degraded, right. So it helps to find out the quality of the given sample of fat and oil. Next, saponification value. It is defined as the number of milligrams of KOH required to completely saponify 1 gram of fat or oil, right? And it is also defined as the number of milligram of KOH required to neutralize fatty acid that is formed from completely hydrolysis of 1 gram of fat or oil. That means first 1 gram fat or oil is taken and it is hydrolyzed, right, completely hydrolyzed. That's why it liberates the free fatty acid. Then this free fatty acid is titrated against KOH solution, right. So saponification value indicate the total fatty acid present into the fat sample, right. Free fatty acid plus which is into the ester form, right. Free fatty acid remain as such, and fatty acid present into the glycerol ester form undergoes hydrolysis and converted into free fatty acid and glycerol, right. So total fatty acid is neutralized by using the KOH solution, right. Here see, it is determined by refluxing a known quantity of the sample of oil with an excess of 0.5 normal alcoholic KOH for 30 minutes, right, and then titrating the unused alkali with 0.5 normal HCl hydrochloric acid, right. It uses the back titration. See the procedure. Take 2 gram of sample in conical flask that is fitted with the reflux condenser, right. After that, add 25 ml of 0.5 normal ethanolic potassium hydroxide solution and small amount of pumice powder, right, and boil the mixture under reflux on water bath for 30 minutes. Right. So in conical flask or round bottom flask, take 2 gram of sample. Then to this sample add 25 ml of 0.5 normal ethanolic KOH solution and small amount of pumice powder. Then this content is refluxed for 30 minutes on water bath. Right. So complete hydrolysis is done. Right. This is carried out for the purpose of hydrolysis of sample of fat and oil. Right. Now after 30 minutes, cool the solution and add 1 ml of phenolphthalein solution as an indicator and titrate the mixture with 0.5 normal hydrochloric acid, right, to neutralize the excess of KOH. Right. So KOH is added, that is first used for the hydrolysis of the ester. Right. So 1 mole of ester of fat uses 1 mole of KOH solution. Right. Then KOH molecule. Right. Then excess of KOH is neutralized by using the hydrochloric acid. Right. Here blend titration is also carried out. Right. This blend titration is carried out by omitting the substance that is under the examination. How blend titration is carried out? Right. In absence of sample to be analyzed. Only solvent plus indicator make the mixture, and this mixture is titrated against 0.5 normal hydrochloric acid solution. Right. And reading obtained or direct reading obtained due to this titration is known as the blank reading. Then saponification value can be calculated by using A minus B into 28.05 divided by weight of the sample. Here 28.05 is constant value, weight of the sample which is taken, right, 2 gram, and A is the ml of hydrochloric acid used for blank titration, that is titration carried out without the sample, and B is the ml of hydrochloric acid used for titration of sample, that is for the regular titration, right, of the sample. So saponification value can be calculated. Now significance of saponification value, it gives an idea about molecular weight of fat and oil. Right. The smaller the saponification value, the higher the molecular weight. Right. It also indicates the length of the carbon chain of fatty acid present in triglyceride. Higher the saponification value, greater is the percentage of short chain acids present in the glycerides of oils and fats. It also helps in finding the amount of alkali required for converting a given amount of fat or oil into soap. Hence, it helps in detection of adulteration of fat and oil, that is the extent to which they are adulterated. Right? It involves the saponification of the fat and oil, that's why it is known as the saponification value. Right? Hydrolysis of the fat and oil in presence of alkali hydroxide produces the alkali salt of fatty acid, that is known as soap, formation of soap. That's why it is known as the saponification value. Next, ester value. It is defined as the number of milligrams of KOH required to react with the esters in 1 gram of fat and oil. Right? The difference between saponification value and acid value is called ester value. Ester value can be calculated by using formula ester value equal to saponification value minus acid value. Right? It is nothing but the difference between saponification value and acid value. Saponification value indicates the total acid value, total fatty acid present into the fat sample. Free fatty acid plus, which is present into the ester form, right? So saponification value indicate the amount of total fatty acid present into the sample, and acid value indicate only free fatty acid, right? So difference between these two value gives the ester value. Saponification value is free fatty acid plus fatty acid present in ester form, right? And acid value is free fatty acid. That's why free fatty acid plus fatty acid present in ester form minus free fatty acid. That's why free fatty acid cancelled out and remain fatty acid in the form of ester linkage. So it gives the ester value. Then iodine value. It is defined as the number of grams of iodine that is taken up by 100 gram of fat or oil, right? It is defined as the number of grams of iodine taken up by 100 gram of fat or oil, or it can also be defined as the number of grams of iodine which will combine with 100 gram of the fat or oil. Principle of iodine value. It is determined by treating the given sample of fat or oil with iodine monochloride or iodine in ethanol in presence of mercury chloride, right? First sample is treated with the iodine monochloride or iodine in ethanol in presence of mercury chloride. Then unreacted or unused iodine is then calculated, right? Unused or unreacted iodine is then calculated, and it gives the idea of degree of unsaturation present in the sample, right? Because we know the amount of iodine taken, right? Then make the or do the reaction of iodine with the sample, right? So when we calculate the unreacted or unused iodine amount, so we can calculate the use amount of iodine that is used into the reaction, right? Amount of iodine taken minus unreacted iodine. That difference gives the used amount of iodine that is used by the sample, right? And degree of saturation or degree of unsaturation or number of pi bond present into the sample, unsaturation present into the sample uses that is directly proportional to the use of iodine molecule, right? So that's why it gives the idea of degree of unsaturation present in the sample. Then procedure for finding out the iodine value. There are two methods for the iodine value. First one is Hubb's method. In this method, fat or oil sample is dissolved in carbon tetrachloride and is treated with excess of standard solution of ethanolic iodine in presence of mercuric chloride. Right? Here ethanolic solution of iodine is taken, and this reaction is carried out in presence of mercuric chloride. Right? Then unused iodine is then calculated by titration with standard sodium thiosulfate solution. Right? So then first make the reaction of sample with excess of standard iodine, ethanolic solution of iodine in presence of mercuric chloride, right? By dissolving sample into CCl4 carbon tetrachloride, right? First sample dissolving carbon tetrachloride, right? To this solution of sample add excess of standard solution of ethanolic iodine, right? And then add mercuric chloride. Make shake well, right? So that reaction between sample and iodine occur. Now calculation of unused iodine, that is done by using the titration. The sample or reaction mixture is then titrated against standard solution of sodium thiosulfate by using starch as an indicator, right? So we can calculate the presence of iodine or free iodine into the reaction mixture, that is not used into the reaction with fat or oil. Then which method? It uses iodine monochloride in acetic acid in place of iodine, right? In which method sample is reacted with iodine monochloride in acetic acid. Then iodine monochloride readily combines with double bonds present in sample of fat or oil, right? And the unreacted iodine is then calculated by addition of potassium iodide and titration with standard solution of sodium thiosulfate by using starch as an indicator. Right? So here in this method, first ICI, that is the ICl, that is the iodine monochloride in acetic acid, react with the sample and cause the saturation of the double bond, right? There is addition of iodine and chloride to the sample, right? Then unreacted iodine is calculated by using the titration method. For this, to the same reaction mixture add potassium iodide, then starch as an indicator, and then titrate the mixture against standard solution of sodium thiosulfate. See the reaction which is taken place into the which method. Here see double bond present into the sample of fat and oil that react with the iodine monochloride, right? So this pi bond is get broken down, right? Pi bond get broken down, and to both carbon iodine and chlorine are added, right? On one carbon chloride and on second carbon iodine are added, right? Here after reaction with this sample of fat and oil, extra iodine monochloride remain as such, right, unused. So this one is calculated by using the titration method. So first add potassium iodide and then potassium iodide, that's why it releases the KCl and iodine molecule. Now this free iodine molecule is reacted with sodium thiosulfate, right, during titration. So iodine value by which method can be calculated by using the formula V2 minus V1 into 1.269 divided by weight of sample, right. So V2 is the titer value of for blank. In this also blank reading is taken, that is titration carried out without the sample, and the obtained burette reading or titer reading is the V2, right, and V1 is the titer value of the sample, that is the titration carried out with the oil sample, right. So it gives the iodine value. Now significance of iodine value. It indicates the degree of unsaturation present in sample. Higher the iodine value, highly unsaturated the sample given, right. As we know that higher the unsaturation or higher the number pi bonds are present, then it uses the more iodine molecule. That's why more or high iodine value obtained. It also gives idea about drying characters of fat and oil, right. It also helps to find out adulteration in given sample, right. By using the iodine value, characteristic or drying character of the fat or oil can be assumed. Iodine value, when iodine value of the sample is 85 to 405, then given oil is non-drying oil, or you can say that iodine value for the non-drying oil is 85 to 405. Iodine value for semi-drying oils is 105 to 120, right, and here 80 to 105, right, not 405, here 85 to 105, and for the semi-drying oil this value is from 105 to 102, right? And drying oils, iodine value of drying oil is above 120, right? Here note for 105, right? So for non-drying oil 85 to 105, for semi-drying oil 105 to 120, and for drying oils above 120. Then acetyl value, it is defined as the number of milligrams of KOH required to neutralize acetic acid that is produced by saponification of 1 gram of completely acetylated fat or oil, right? Procedure: to the given sample of fat and oil, add 5 ml of acetic anhydride pyridine mixture, and mixture should be of 1:7, right, ratio. Then add 5 ml of water and put on water bath for 30 minutes. Then cool it, right, and then titrate with 0.5 normal KOH using phenolphthalein as an indicator. Acetyl value can be calculated by using formula E into 4.3 divided by A. A is the weight of sample and E is the acidity equivalence that is obtained by the titration, right? Significance: it helps in determining the number of alcoholic groups present in an oil or fat, right? It gives the number of idea about the number of OH group present into the fat or oil, because acetyl group react with, from the acetic anhydride, acetyl group react with the hydroxyl group. Then Richard Missel value, that is RM value. It is defined as the number of ml of 0.1 normal KOH solution required to neutralize the water soluble stain. Right? It is an indicator of how much volatile fatty acid can be extracted from fat through saponification. Right? As we know that by saponification process we can produce the free fatty acid from the glyceride ester of fatty acid, that is from the fat or oil, right? And fatty acid may be volatile or non-volatile in nature, right? So from this value we can calculate the amount of volatile fatty acid present into the sample. Measure of the volatile fatty acid residues present in the given fat or oil. Principle: for determination of RM value, non-sample is completely saponified with alkali, then the resulting solution is acidified and steam distilled. Then the distillate which contains the volatile acid is then titrated against 0.1 normal KOH solution. Procedure: to the 10 gram of the sample, add an excess of 0.1 normal NaOH solution. The solution is acidified with dilute sulfuric acid and undergoes steam distillation. Right? Now distillate contain the volatile acid. Now this distillate is then titrated with 0.1 normal KOH solution using phenolphthalein solution as an indicator. Right? After that, RM value can be calculated by the equation, using the equation RM value equal to 1.10 into T1 minus T2. Right? T1 is the volume of 0.1 normal KOH used for the titration, and T2 is the volume of 0.1 normal KOH used in blend titration. In this procedure, blend titration is also carried out, that is without the sample. Significance of RM value: it is useful for testing the purity of the butter and desi ghee, right, which may contain high amount of glycerides of butyric acid, that is lower fatty acid, right? As we know, the butter contain the butyric acid, glycerides of butyric acid, right? And other steam volatile fatty acid residues. For example, adulterated butter has low value than that of pure butter, right? Adulterated butter has the low Rn value than that of pure butter, right? This Rn value number is an indicator of non-fat compounds in edible fats like butter and ghee, right? Hence, it helps in determining the purity of butter and desi ghee. Here, different analytical constants of fats and oils are completed, and also chapter fats and oils is completed. Thank you.